How's everybody doing out there? I am Super Solican. I'm here with C Rabbit, and I just want to do a quick rant and review and rant on the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League video game that has been released on the PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox. This game is one of those looter shooter games where you basically there's a lot of live services where you got to purchase things. You spending money. You bought the game already, but now you got to spend $40 for a costume. You've bought the game already, but now you have to spend the 35.99 to get a new weapon or to get a upgrade. Like I hate stuff like that. You should always have to grind and earn. You should never be able to purchase your way to greatness. Now if this they used to have games where you used to have like to get like a to purchase a separate device to put in a cheat code to get like say you want unlimited lives. You had to get something that was called a game genie, and you hook that up to your system, and then you could put in some code. It was a very intricate process. Oh yeah. But see, now all you have to do, you used to also have to know somebody who knew like the inputs. There used to be inputs and secret things that you could put in to get to put a code in. Like say in the Grand Theft Auto, there was a code that you put in to get unlimited ammo or unlimited unlimited continues, stuff like that. You could do that, but you had to know somebody. It took effort. Like now you could and then it's just a money grab just to pay for that. But I could go on and on about that. I hate when games do that. But this game has repetitive gameplay. I mean, but before I get off the looter shooter stuff, like there's points, there's so much stuff on this screen. It looked like you in Las Vegas. This game looks like it's sickening, some of the activity that's going on in this game. Just look at the screen. Like it's people bouncing around. It's I don't know, and the chaotic gameplay would be okay if it was a first of all, if this was a game that came out like on iOS or the iPhone or something like that, just to have a quick little jump into it and have some quick fun. You know what I'm saying? Just a quick little hit there, boom, and that's that. Not paying $50, $70, not paying plus $40 to try to upgrade a character, man. And I'll get to the characters in a minute. Oh yeah, I'll get to that. I'm just gonna start from the beginning. Like I said, this is kind of a rant because I'm actually kind of hot about a few things that they did with this game. First of all, it's woke, and I'm gonna get to that. But the repetitive gameplay, like all of this, the traversal is dope. Like the city of Metropolis is cool. I like the way that that they were in Arkham. They perfected the city of Gotham. I mean, I said Arkham. They perfected the city of Gotham. And I like the way that they showed the Metropolis, like how it's different. And Metropolis has its own life. And that's how Metropolis should look, if they continue to build on that and do it give it more life. But it should look like that. Metropolis is built like a city, like a larger than life city. They love the Justice League, unlike how Gotham hates Batman, or he's like the vigilante there, or he just don't even want those type of statues or accolades like that. It's not his attitude. In Metropolis, you see statues of Superman. The Hall of Justice is there, which it should be with Superman, where he's at. That's where the Hall of Justice is. There's very cool scenes that's in this game where they show you going to the Hall of Justice, destroyed, of course, and then there's very cool scenes where you're in like there's like Batman has like where you're, I don't know what that is, like Wayne Tower or whatever. But anyway, that's where like he has his other Bat Cave or wherever, and you can also go in a museum. He has like a museum where you can go in there and you see all of the Arkham villains that he's fought, all of the villains that he's fought throughout the game, because this is set in that same Arkham Knight universe, which it shouldn't be. Like, this totally is out of place. But but what I didn't like is how they tried to make it. They tried to make Bruce Wayne seem campy. They tried this. Some of this humor was along those lines of that Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn show cartoon that you see, and that's a parody of all these characters. That's not how they really act. But you saw shades of that Bruce Wayne in this video game. But yeah, the good. I'm gonna just start with finishing off the good, because that's pretty easy to do. So you have the Metropolis City, but it's barren. Now don't get me wrong, it looks good in the beginning, and it has some good scenes. The beginning sequences, like I say, like the first 30 minutes of this game, you're immersed in this. I love the way they started off. They started off with you jumping, trying to just basically a tutorial, but the tutorial moves the game along. I like that. You start to get to know the characters immediately. I like that. They introduced the corrupted Justice League characters. That, like, the Justice League characters are larger than life, literally. When you go into the Hall of Justice, they have they big avatars up there. They're like huge avatars, like, virtual avatars. And I like the characters that they had playing them. That was the original Arkham Knight Batman, Kevin Conroy. He ended up passing away. Rest in peace to him. And it's crazy how those characters, like, that they just didn't honor those characters. They literally pissed on the Justice League, and I'll get to that. This is a spoiler review and rant. So please, if you don't want to, know any of the story, or you hadn't played the game, or you can go ahead and click off. But yeah, I'm gonna be talking about everything in this, because it's everybody. It's tons of people already done that. So you have like I said, the larger than life Justice League. The first 30 minutes is pretty good of the game. Like, actually, like I was actually into it. But then when you see the actual combat gameplay, you experience that for about 30 minutes. I'll say 30 minutes to an hour. You've seen everything. Like, you've already pretty much tapped the surface. You could buy, like I said, you can go buy your upgrades and costumes and stuff like that. You have a skill tree, but the skill tree is like everywhere. It's hard to understand. The skill trees, and everybody pretty much is the same. Like I said, this game should have been on iOS. The characters play the same. They're shooting. That's another thing. I hate the flighting, and I know, again, it's supposed to be chaotic, but I hate the way that they handled the combat with the bosses, with the Justice League. All you do is run around shooting them. Run around shoot. Like, it was one scene where they thought they were going to Batman. They were in the Batcave, and this is when they trying to kill Batman. They thought this was a Batman, and this was a hologram, but they just unloaded on him, like, just every shot, headshot, just da da da, like, come on, man, that's not how you handle the combat. It's too cheap. You making them you just giving them just unlimited bullets, they flipping around, they have shields on. Oh, convenient. Like, everything's convenient. The storyline, oh man, the storyline sucks. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, after the first 30 minutes, the rest of the game is just, the rest of the storyline wise. I mean, there's good elements. Like, I like even Harley Quinn's dialogue. She's funny. Harley Quinn's funny in about the first 30 minutes. But you start to get annoyed. Boomerang annoyed the crap out of me. I got sick of Boomerang. And that's the thing with the Suicide Squad. Their whole trope is that they die. It's not about the superheroes dying. And now at the end of the day, that was an innovative little thing, whatever. And we know how it is in these comic book universes. Basically nobody ever really dies. You just go snatch another one from another universe or some clone. They're gonna have something to rectify that. But still, you want, like, that's cool and all, but the way that they sent them off was whack. Like, the only honorable good death was Wonder Woman. Superman, they shot him. They got some green or some yellow kryptonite that they made from experimenting on Batman. They had about 3 or 4 went through about 3 or 4 Lex Luthors, you know. But they made some yellow kryptonite with Lex Luthor's help, or Earth 2's Lex Luthor's help. And then they went and shot Superman up. Just did a drive-by on him. Boop, 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 boop. Like, come on, man. Superman's immune to bullets and all that. Don't matter how much kryptonite you got and all that crap. Superman would have annihilated. First of all, the Flash would have annihilated them. They try to get everything you got a little device for. Oh, I got a convenient device for this. They recruited the Toy Man. They recruited the that little green guy. They recruited the Tinkerer. I forget his name. But they recruited Lex Luthor. Like I said, they had about 3 or 4 Lex Luthors. A lot of that stuff was coming from LexCorp. And it's just like, it was very convenient. And then again, it would have been nice to see one of these one or two of these Suicide Squad characters die. And you replace them with somebody else and let them play because they needed to break up the repetitiveness of this game, and they needed to put you in. And this is another thing for me. I don't like when you got these multiplayer games where you basically just dogpile on the enemies. Like, there's multiple a lot of enemies, but say you got a boss battle, you need to start putting strategy into that. There's really no strategy in a lot of this. Just shoot the man. Shoot him. Just unload on him. That jump around and unload. No puzzles, aspects to these boss fights. Nothing. That Brainiac boss fight was one of the most anticlimactic boss fights I've ever seen. And then again, there's about 13 more of them, Brainiacs, like that you gotta go on multiple dimensions and universes. So you didn't really even take care of business. But instead of fighting the Brainiac, you fighting some Flash clone or whatever it is. I don't even know what that is that you fought. That was just that was an abomination, man. By that time, if you were still playing that game, you probably are, you probably need to do better things. I'm gonna tell you, there's better things you could do with your time. If you got to the end of it, but I understand you want to make it to the end. But that's why we spoiling the game for you, so you don't have to waste your time and go through that, because that game was cringy. And again, let me get to the woke aspects of this story. Harley Quinn, she was the gift and the curse of this game. She was funny, she had some very funny parts that I liked. But then she had some woke, cringy moments that were shades of, again, that Harley Quinn and Ivy cartoon that's like a Adult Swim parody. I don't even think it's on Adult Swim, but that's one of those parody vulgar cartoons. She had a line where she, wants to get everybody's putting their costumes on that they had when they busted them. Everybody's putting on their same costume. They looking for their costume to put on. Harley Quinn doesn't want to go grab her costume, talking about, it's like it's so retro or whatever. Like, lady, you just had that costume on proudly while you was running amok in Arkham Asylum in Gotham Knight. I mean, you don't understand, Batman Arkham Knight. So what are you talking about? Then you get this talking about more fashion forward. Okay, so that's more fashion forward, whatever. You try to give Batman this lecture at the end of the day, trying to make it. Oh yeah, before I get to that, she's in the museum You go to the museum, that Batman museum I was talking about, and they're talking about what she's doing. Like Batman's describing all the villains in the gallery. That's a good part of the game. Like I said, that's very cool. That was a very cool part of the game to show that. But she's in the gallery, and he's talking about her, and he's saying what she was doing, in all the previous games and in her lore. And and he called the Joker sidekick, and she talking about every girl has a phase they go through. Harley, you've been in that phase for your whole life. Like you were a psychiatrist, and you fell for the Joker, who was a psychopathic murderer. Like phase. You should have been through that phase. What are you talking about? That don't make no sense. That's more to her insanity and delusion. I mean, it does play into that. So, but still, then she tries to give Batman a lecture at the end of the game. Like, basically trying to I don't know where they were going with that. That just and if you're gonna send Batman, if this is in the Arkham Knight universe, why are you trying to like why are you preaching to this shell of a Batman? This is a shell. Like this isn't the real Batman. The real Batman, for all intents and purposes, was dead because when those things assimilated you, they killed the host. So there should have been more effort for you to assimilate Batman. You assimilate. He got plans and contingencies for everything. But then you assimilate Superman. How you just easily some alien just as easily just some alien symbiote just easily assimilate Superman, who who's vulnerable to invulnerable to basically everything. Like that, they didn't try to explain that. They just wanted to hurry up and give it to you, and just. But and Wonder Woman happens to be the only one who escapes and gets an honorable death. Who basically gets nuclear, gets the nuclear optic blast from Superman, and he kills her, but. Like Superman's just shot to death, Flash shot to death, Green Lantern shot to death, Batman shot in the head by Harley freaking Quinn. These bunch of morons. The best thing, the most formidable, and the best character that everyone seems to agree on is King Shark. This dead shot is like a guy who has an identity crisis. So we don't know if this is the real dead shot from this universe or the dead shot from the well, actually, yeah, because the dead shot from this universe, everybody thinks he's a white guy. So this is some dead shot who brought in or spliced in from Lex Luthor's universe or Earth 2 or something like that. But they don't really explain that. They just leave it vague. But again, they have a scene that was so many cringe scenes in here, cringe cut scenes. I don't know where they were going. The gameplay again is something that should be on a Apple iPhone, iOS. There's entirely too much going on screen. There's numbers, you could turn some of that stuff off, but that doesn't, I mean, it's still a lot going on. The enemies are that you fight, they're bland, they're blah. The gameplay gets old and repetitive. All of the characters are similar. Like they're too similar. Like they need to be those characters should play totally different. Harley Quinn shouldn't be as powerful, knocking heads out, exploding enemies the same way King Shark is. Do you understand? Like King Shark is a demigod. This is just a Harley Quinn is Joker's sidekick. She's a regular person. Deadshot should be should be a lot more strategy to his character, a lot more sniping than just running around shooting stuff. Blah, 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 blah. The jet, the traversal is cool. Boomerang is just a pointless character to me. Like I don't know. Like I like Captain Boomerang in the Suicide Squad movies. Like but this character was annoying and vulgar. There's two scenes. There's a few scenes where I was just like, man, what are we doing here with Boomerang in it? But yeah. So the gameplay, the best thing is the traversal. Like I said, the traversal around the city, around Metropolis in the daytime, So I'll give the gameplay a 5 out of 10. The storyline, the storyline, oh my God, I give that a 3 out of 10. Like, really, I'm close to giving it a. The reason why I can only give it I can at least give it a 3 is because, like I said, it has some funny parts. The first 30 minutes, the first 30 minutes, that's why I can give it a 3. But anything else, I'm pretty sure some people may get it a 0. Because they just crapped on some of the best gaming that's been out, the best Batman gaming that's been out. I'll say, like, those are the best Batman games, you know, and you crapping on that legacy, if by putting this in that continuity, you should have never done that. That was stupid. That was stupid. And so that's that on that. 3 out of 10 on the story. As far as the playthrough, the replayability, that's a 0 out of 10. Like, you're not gonna want to until the DLCs and stuff come out. This game has zero replay value. You actually, like, it's once you finish this, you like, oh, thank God. I've done it. I've done it. I've seen. I've experienced this. I don't need to play this again. This will make you want to go back and play the Batman games again and forget that this ever existed. But the only good thing that came is that they let you know that the Justice League existed, and Superman them in the Batman Arkham Knight continuity. Could you imagine if they had to did a Justice League game? That would have been awesome, you know. And if they could do it, but just I'm gonna do another separate video on that because they could do it right. You just would have to have segments with the different heroes, for different purposes and stuff. Because Superman, of course, got more power than would need as much as he'll need less help than a Green Lantern or somebody like that. Green Lantern could be out there in space. Different missions, man. Different threats, different missions, and it could be good. You can make it work. But so 0 on the replayability. That's a 5 on the gameplay. That's a 3 on the story. That's 0 on the replayability value. The graphics, I give them a good solid 8. Actually, I have to give the graphics a 7 because that makes me think. It would be a great 8 if at night when the weather changes or when the different you get different when it's not daytime. When when the weather changes or you're seeing nighttime activity, the city starts to look ugly. It looks uglier, and also it's very dead. It's a dead city. Like, people are evacuated. It'd be nice to see Metropolis, populated or in a normal setting, like like an open world Spider-Man setting or something like that. Could you imagine seeing Metropolis like that with all of the innovative technology and things they got going on? Like, nah, that was too much of a feat to ask. You weren't gonna put a game out like that. This game had too many woke elements. Too many woke elements. Too many underused points. Too many underused characters. Too many underused story arcs. Too many underused. None of those characters really had like a character arc. Like, they were just annoying from the beginning to end. I'm serious. The thing with the Suicide Squad is, like, when you should have had a numerous Joker, them, all of those DLC characters should have been in the game from the beginning. And when you lose one of them, you should lose them for good. You understand? Like, they should have gave you like a choice of about 25 characters, villains, like how Lego Batman was. As long as they took, but look, like, let's be realistic. They probably could have only they only in the DLC with those characters probably only have about 20, maybe. I'm being generous. I'll say maybe like 15. So give you 15 characters between and other players to choose from. And when one of them dies, they die for good. And you have to start from a certain point, or you get like 2 revivals or something like that. And you don't get them back. That would have made the Suicide Squad game dope. It was a lot of things they could have did, but they didn't care about that. It seemed like they cared about pushing some message, which they doing in all of the things that were never geared for certain, all of the things that were geared for a certain group of people, that were used to be looked at and shunned and shamed by people, calling them nerds and stuff. It's funny how now all that stuff became cool and people want to pay attention to it. But see, you want to now take their stuff and then make it and take their fantasy and then try to put your woke bull crap into it. Like Harley Quinn, like I said, was the gift and the curse of this. She was funny, but then some of those things you just had to cringe. How Lex Luthor was talking about, Wonder Woman gay stop toxic masculinity or something. It's like, that was cringe, bro. The fact that you had how Lois Lane didn't even really trip on Superman being dead. Like she wasn't even broke up about that. She was like, and Green Lantern didn't get any send off. She was just like, oh, he dead. This stuff was I don't believe that they made this game. Like seriously, it was funny, but look, I gave you the rating. Support this? Hell no. Just being honest, like, why? Like, why would you purchase this game? Or, get it from, get from one of your homies or something, but purchases, why? So with that being said, this is the Cool Club. Peace.